When your dog sleeps next to you, they are not being affectionate. They are monitoring you. They wait until you are fully asleep, listening as your breathing slows and feeling your body gradually relax before they quietly move into position beside you. Then, almost instinctively, they choose a specific spot, sometimes between you and the door, sometimes pressed along your legs or back. And once they settle there, they remain for hours, barely moving unless something in the environment changes. That position is not random, and it has very little to do with comfort. It is part of a survival system that goes back over 15,000 years, long before dogs ever lived in human homes. And once you understand what your dog is actually doing while you sleep, you begin to see something most owners completely miss. They are not just resting beside you, they are quietly watching over you. This behavior has a purpose. The position your dog chooses at night is not simply about comfort or habit. It reflects a role that has been carried forward from their evolutionary past. Dogs did not develop this behavior in modern homes. They inherited it from ancestors that lived in environments where sleep was one of the most vulnerable states an animal could enter. In the wild, when a wolf falls asleep, it temporarily loses awareness of its surroundings, which makes it highly exposed to danger. To reduce that risk, wolves evolved a system of sleeping together in close physical contact, where subtle movements could be felt instantly across the group. This contact was not just about warmth, it was about communication and survival. Not every member of the group would enter deep sleep at the same time, and some would remain partially alert, ready to respond to any change in the environment. Your dog still carries that system. So when they press their body against you or position themselves nearby, they are not simply seeking closeness. They are placing themselves in a position where they can detect even the smallest shift, whether it comes from you or from the space around you. In a very real sense, they are maintaining awareness so that you can remain completely at rest. Your body is their reference point. But your dog is not only observing the environment, they are also closely tuned to you. Dogs are exceptionally sensitive to subtle physical changes, including variations in breathing patterns, heart rate, and muscle tension. When you first lie down, your body is still active. Your breathing is uneven, your muscles are engaged, and your nervous system is not yet fully relaxed. Your dog notices this, and rather than settling immediately, waits for your body to reach a more stable state. As your body gradually transitions into deeper stages of sleep, your breathing becomes slower and more consistent, your muscles release tension, and your overall physical state stabilizes. That is the moment your dog has been waiting for. Once they detect that shift, they recognize that you have entered a deeper, more vulnerable state of rest, and only then do they allow themselves to settle more fully. And if something changes during the night, even before you become consciously aware of it, your dog can detect that shift almost instantly. This is why many dogs appear to wake up just moments before their owners do, not because they are reacting to movement, but because they are responding to the subtle internal changes that occur before movement begins. If you want to understand what your dog is actually thinking, not what people assume, subscribe. We break it down with real science every week. What their position really means. The exact place your dog chooses to sleep next to you reveals how they interpret their role in that environment. A dog that sleeps at the foot of the bed, especially if they are facing outward, is often taking on a guarding position, placing themselves between you and what they perceive as the most likely direction of a potential disturbance. A dog that presses closely against your back is maintaining physical contact, which allows them to feel even the smallest changes in your movement or muscle tension. If your dog curls tightly against your chest or stomach, they are choosing a position that maximizes both protection and vulnerability, exposing critical areas of their body while trusting that you provide safety. And when a dog positions itself across your legs or feet, limiting your ability to move freely, it is not an act of dominance in the aggressive sense, but rather a form of control that ensures they will be immediately aware if you shift position during the night. Each of these behaviors reflects a slightly different expression of the same underlying system: awareness, positioning, and responsibility. The timing most people miss. There is a pattern that many dog owners never consciously notice, even though it happens almost every night. Dogs often do not settle immediately when you go to sleep. Instead, they wait, typically for around 15 to 20 minutes, which closely matches the time it takes for the human body to transition into deeper sleep stages. During this period, your breathing stabilizes, your muscles relax more completely, and your overall physiological state becomes more consistent. Your dog is tracking these changes continuously, not passively resting, but actively observing and waiting for confirmation that your body has reached a stable state of rest. Only then do they fully settle. When dogs choose distance, not every dog sleeps in close physical contact with their owner, and this variation does not indicate a weaker bond. In many cases, it is simply a matter of physical comfort, as dogs have a higher baseline body temperature than humans and may overheat when in prolonged contact, especially under blankets. Some breeds are naturally more independent, having been developed for roles that required observation and distance rather than constant proximity. In other cases, particularly with rescue dogs or animals with a history of stress, sleep remains a more vulnerable state, and maintaining some distance allows them to feel more secure. However, even when a dog chooses to sleep across the room, if they position themselves where they can see or monitor you, they are still maintaining that connection. They are still aware. Shared state during sleep. Research into canine cognition and physiology has shown that when dogs sleep near their owners, their internal states can begin to align. Your calmness can influence your dog's nervous system, helping to reduce stress and promote deeper rest, while your dog's presence can have a stabilizing effect on you. This is one of the reasons dogs are so effective in therapeutic settings, particularly for individuals dealing with anxiety or trauma. They are capable of detecting changes in physiological state before those changes become fully conscious experiences. Even during sleep, if your breathing shifts or your heart rate increases, your dog can respond, sometimes by repositioning or becoming more alert. In this sense, you are not simply sharing space, you are participating in a shared regulatory system. What you never see. There is a moment every night that most people are completely unaware of. While you are asleep, your dog may briefly open their eyes, adjust their position, or scan the environment before settling again. It is not dramatic, and it is not constant, but it is consistent. This behavior is not random. It is the continuation of a system that has existed long before modern life. Your dog is not just sleeping next to you. So when you wake up and see your dog resting beside you, it is worth remembering that they have not simply been asleep the entire time. At various points during the night, they have been aware, responsive, and connected, ensuring that nothing changes without them noticing. You are not just their owner. You are part of their system, part of their structure of safety and awareness. And in that system, sleeping together is not just comfort. It is survival, translated into the quiet, everyday moments of your life. Where does your dog usually sleep? Do they stay close to you, move during the night, or prefer a specific position? Share it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want to truly understand your dog's behavior, not just interpret it, subscribe for more science-based insights every week.